Well, good morning and welcome to CityLine. It is great to be in your home. We are live every Thursday morning, and this morning is the 19th of December. Boy, the holidays are happening quickly. And so in honor of that, we have a great hour ahead of us filled with things that you can do for the holiday. Later on, we'll be talking with Northwest Furniture Bank. And if you don't know about Northwest Furniture Bank, hang on to your hats. They provide an invaluable service for our community, so I want you to stick around so you can find out what that is. And the Model Train Festival is here. To me, nothing says the holidays like a model train. I grew up with model trains around our house during the holidays, and so you too can enjoy those model trains at the Washington State History Museum. We'll talk more about that. First night is right around the corner, and for those of you who perhaps are new to our beautiful city, first night is something that the whole family can do on New Year's Eve, so you definitely want to take some notes about that. And then with me right now, I have two fabulous individuals who are here to talk about the Eastside Microlibrary. And if you didn't know they have a microlibrary at the Eastside Community Center, well, guess what? They do. Please join me in welcoming Kate Larson. Hello.
Hello.
You are the director of Tacoma Public Library. Nice to see you, my dear.
Good to see you.
Really good to have you back on the comfy couch.
Thank you.
You brought with you this woman who is dressed for the season, Jeffrey Peters. Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You are the supervisor at the Eastside Community Center, and welcome to CityLine, my dear.
Thank you.
Kate, for people who are going microlibrary, micro, macro, help us understand what is a microlibrary?
A microlibrary, and this is a concept that we kind of came up with on our own, but it's basically taking core library services and moving them into a partner location like the Eastside Community Center. So we have a small collection of materials that is available, but we also have services available too. So we have a librarian who is doing story times now every Friday. She's going to be doing all kinds of other programming that's coming down in the next year. So STEM programming, author programming, all the other things that you think of when you think of library services are complementing that small collection that's available through an automated kiosk.
Oh, I love that. So when we were in the green room, I told you one of the things I do is I walk around Tacoma and I'm always looking at what some people might call a micro library in their neighborhood. You know, the boxes.
The little free libraries.
The free libraries that have like linoleum inside of them.
Right.
And
they're
very,
house.
very precious. But that is not the kind of micro library we are talking about, is it?
No, this holds a far bigger collection, a far bigger range. So it's all of the formats that you see in the big free library are available in the kiosk. So DVDs, books. Soon there will be Wi-Fi hotspots for checkout.
Oh,
as
hello.
Well. Yep.
Very nice. So why is Tacoma Public Library offering this type of service point? I mean, especially when we have this beautiful, huge library downtown.
Well, as you may know, in 2011, unfortunately, the Eastside's library, Swan Creek, closed.
Yes.
As well as another library up here on the hilltop, the MLK library closed. So when I came into this position 2 years ago, I knew that those were two areas that needed library services, but I also knew that we didn't have tens of millions of dollars to just open up a brand new location. So we were looking to extend services as kind of an interim solution while we figure out how do we restore services down the road.
Yes.
So, and this was just a great partner opportunity anyway, because Metro Parks is such a powerful community organization. It just made sense that there's a natural partnership there.
I love that. Jeffrey, when we think about libraries, it's not something that I historically or necessarily apply to something that I've seen housed in a community center, like I think about the Star Center. So from the Metro Parks point of view, what appealed to Metro Parks about this partnership?
with Metro Park's mission to play, learn, and grow. And I think it really starts with that. So the idea is, for us to have a partnership that is going to help our community at all ages, from elementary, preschool, all the way through our senior programs, to have access and to truly play, learn, and grow. I think the other side of that is there's an aspect of reading is recreation, and we forget about that sometimes. And recreation means something different to everyone.
Yes.
So now that we can really leverage that thought and provide another opportunity to recreate now through reading, this is a way for us to have young people kind of have that autonomy to make that decisions on what it is. Do they want to go play basketball or do they want to go read a book?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's been really incredible for us. And I think the other side of that is for us as Metro Parks, working with the library, also with our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, we have an opportunity to leverage those resources to really be efficient and to be effective in how we service our community.
Yeah.
And so knowing that right now we already have families coming in, we already service lunch for seniors on weekdays, and we do have the Boys and Girls Club. We serve almost 200 youth after school every day from first grade to seniors. Here's an opportunity to reduce barriers. People are already coming to the community center, so why not have this as an option? Let's provide that access. And I think that was what was really appealing for this.
Beautifully said, because for me, as I hear you talk about this idea of removing barriers, I think for 2020, that's something our community really has to focus on, is we've got to remove barriers for people to have quality of life. Not everybody can hop on a bus and come to our beautiful downtown branch. We wish they could, because that branch is beautiful. But to have it in your own, like down the road, a block away, I always think the family that reads together stays together. And one of the most wonderful memories I have is reading to my child as she was growing up. I didn't have a library close. I was lucky to come down here. But if I could have come to something in within a 2-block radius of my house, it would have been a totally different game changer. Let's talk about hours at the East Side, because you mentioned something to me that I think is just genius about the hours downtown versus the hours at the East Side Community Center.
So all of our standard sort of library branches are open 40 hours a week, which is a pretty limited schedule for anyone who's trying to get to the library, anyone who works or has family obligations trying to get to the library. So one of our goals in this project was to extend accessibility, particularly on the East Side, and the community center is open 112 hours a week. So those services are available far more than we're actually able to do in our very own buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do we need a library card in order to access these services at the Eastside Community Center?
You do, and library cards are easy to get. And you may or may not know about the Pathway Partnership. So the students at First Creek automatically have a library card in their student ID number. So every student at Tacoma Public Schools, their student ID number works as their library card. So they automatically have one, and they can get a full-fledged library card as well. And soon, rolling out in later in 2020, we'll have an e-verify system where you'll be able to get a library card remotely right there on the spot.
Oh my gosh. I mean, just like Tacoma Creates, every high school student now has an Orca card. Wouldn't it be great if
everything was coordinated?
Boom, one card, transportation, library, unit. And I'm sure that's going to happen because we're Tacoma.
People are talking about it.
So the library, Jerry, is more than just a kiosk with a vending machine to access books. You've added some touches to these services at the center, and tell us what they are.
Kate touched on it earlier. We are very lucky that we have a librarian that
An actual librarian,
Jamie, who is incredible. And Jamie is there. She comes every day, and she is there to help serve the community in the needs similar to at a library. She is there to answer questions, but more importantly, she has very much connected with the community. She's our outreach. She has done everything from meet with Boys and Girls Club to help create programming for our young people after school, to work within our own departments. She's come to our teen councils that we all have at the community centers to ask what they want. And so soon she'll be starting programming during late night.
Movies?
There's
Yes.
a whole bunch of
Sky's the
opportunities
limit.
there. We have a reading program for our younger preschool age program on Fridays where they read books, and she participates with us in our special events. So she's really been gathering that knowledge of the community and asking those questions of what people want to see. But starting in February, we'll have a robotics and coding program. So this is going to be, it already is incredible, and we're extremely lucky to have her.
Absolutely. So in these last few minutes, let's talk about some thank yous, because I know that you both have a list of people that you need to thank that this couldn't happen without. So Kate, who's on your list?
Well, first and foremost, the City Council of Tacoma. They provided the funding for this project. So that's where it all begins. And of course, I always have to thank my wonderful Board of Trustees for their ongoing support especially for new and innovative projects like this. We wouldn't be able to do it without either of those groups.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's on your list?
For ours, definitely our Parks Board of Commissioners.
Yes!
Huge.
Huge.
And again, for us, it's Jamie. We want to thank the library
Yes.
for the partnership as well. So we're very grateful. And Jamie for the work that she does to make this really happen. You know, she's kind of the magic behind it all. And that's really important for us.
Absolutely. So this is a question for both of you to answer with one word. What is it you want people to walk away with once they walk through and experience the microlibrary? Kate.
Community.
Yes! Okay, you can't say community.
I know.
Darn it.
I got to go first.
Yeah. One answer.
Well, I'll go back to magic.
Yes.
Because you just don't know where it's going to take you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And reading is fundamental, as
It
we
is.
used to say. Thank you, both of you, for this partnership, for the love that you've given the Eastside Community Center, and for the gift of imagination and reading, because we need that now more than ever in our world. So happy holidays to both of you, and I want you back on the couch in 90 days to talk about how this library is working.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.
When we come back, David Fisher will be in this couch. He might be laying down, he might be lounging, we don't know, to talk about first night. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.